this game science thing has kind of been bugging me for a bit. Look, I said this. I didn't buy Black Myth Wukong, not because I was mad that it wasn't on an Xbox. If it would have been a PlayStation only exclusive for the rest of history, I probably would have I probably would have sought it out like for on a Black Friday sale. I wouldn't have paid the full boat for it because my console of choice is Xbox. Everybody knows that. For crying out loud, I got 3 Xbox shows a week, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't hate PlayStation. I don't hate having a PlayStation 5. It's just it gets the least play because I'd rather play on my Xbox or my Switch, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's mine. But you know, Clute Abdel 114 in the chat put out a pretty. I mean, it'd take me 10 minutes to read this. It is a thread. It is a monster thread. And I want to read just a piece of it because there has been a lot of controversy surrounding game science and more specifically PlayStation. Now, you said it earlier. We have it on confirmed fact that Microsoft literally said, we do not, we know that there was a deal made, but we're working with them. And when the game comes out, it's going to run great on it, whatever. And just the other day, well, the one of the producers, was pushing back and literally blaming the Series S for this delay. Oh, it's the Series S. It's gummed up everything, and that has been a running narrative. Now, granted, I'm not a developer, and I don't know PCs like that. And yes, have people come out and said, yeah, it is a hindrance to some extent. Now, whether or not that's fact or lazy, I honestly don't know because I'm not a developer. But I know that they were able to get Hellblade 2 running at a lock 30 on Series S.
Dude, every game in history gets released on the Series S.
It does.
Every single day, more and more games are released on the S. They're lying.
Yeah, they are lying. So annoying, they're absolutely lying because all you have to do is look to 2024's, and I'm saying it like it was 100 years ago. It was just 2 days ago. But in 2024, 2 of the most talked about games towards the end of the year, which was Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones, are both running great on the Series S. So if they can get those games to run great on the Series S, you're telling me that you couldn't get Black Myth Wukong, which, by the way, still isn't running at peak performance on the PS5. Now, that's different for PC because you can have a monster rig, and I'm sure that it's running great, but you're telling me that the Series S has gummed up everything, and I don't really, I don't believe it. And so I'm going to read some of I'm going to read the post from Clute. He says, what I find interesting, is to see the ongoing Wukong delay for Xbox is still not seeing a clear-cut reason why this is the case. I find a newly translated statement by a supposed game science developer questionable for the following reasons. As we know, as we've seen reported by Microsoft, they were not made aware of any platform limitations. Game Science had issues with optimizing for the Series S. Why did they not report it? And why did they not anticipate it towards it, knowing the game already got a release date announced for Xbox at the Game Awards of 2023? Goes on to say, as Microsoft stated in a response to Forbes, as we have said before, we're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong on Xbox Series X and S and are working with Game Science to bring the game to our platform. We'd prefer not to comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we can confirm that the delay is not due to the Xbox platform limitations that have been raised to us. Now, recently, and I sent this over, so I think Jez Corden actually responded to this. So, yeah, here it is. So Jez Corden, and again, this was just 16 hours ago, so it was yesterday. Jez says this, and I quote, all I know for certain is they told Xbox there's a deal in place. Xbox believes there is a deal in place. I'm reporting on what Xbox believed to be the case, at least back when I did my original report. They have so far declined to refute that. So basically, the recent interview with the game science developer who's blaming the Series S is more falsities. And I was telling you in the green room, I says, when I hear that, I'm not a vindictive person, folks. Listen, I'm just a consumer like you, right? A consumer that has a couple of podcasts a week, not that big of a deal, not much different than you. But when I hear this, I'm still waiting for Black Myth. I really want to buy it. But now, hearing that the delay could run all the way through 2025, I'm going to say this publicly right now. And I really don't think anybody from Game Science is listening to this small ass show. But I could tell you this: if that game somehow misses the 2025 campaign or comes out towards the end of the year when it's going to be crazy, they are not getting my money. I could tell you that right now. And they're not going to get my money for two reasons. One, I don't like being lied to as a customer. That's number one. And number two, I am not going to drop down 76.43 on your game during what could be one of the biggest falls we've ever had. And I'm going to be playing everything and anything out of Game Pass for the price of under $20 a month. So Game Science, I will either buy it used or I will get it on a sale, a flash sale for half price during Black Friday. See, what are your thoughts on the additional context from the supposed, developer within Game Science saying, hey, there's no deal, and this is really a Series S problem. It continues to plague what we're trying to do with this game, and we can't get it right. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean they're lying. They're lying. Microsoft, listen, Game Science is nobody, right? They're a nobody studio. They made this one game, great. But they're a nobody studio. They're just one little studio, and if they can't come up with another Black Myth Wukong type game that's going to take them another 10 years to make, I don't think that they're long for this life with hype, right? I think they'll just be another game that came and that's it. So the fact that they are talking about this means nothing, right? The company that actually matters and that actually has stakes when they speak, and they have to make sure they don't say things out of turn because they can get in trouble and they can get sued and all this stuff Game Science can sue them and say, what do you mean? No, it is this problem and you're making us look bad, right? But they're not, and they don't ever actually talk about what Microsoft said, right? They just, every time you get a quote from Game Science, it's just their own little bubble of whatever they want to say. But Microsoft can't just go out there and put out a public statement that says, hey, yeah, we haven't heard any issues from there, and we could tell you that it's not the platform. They have a deal. We can't comment on the deal. It's right there. That's it. That is the official word, not the wannabe bootlegged, developer who's saying that, oh yeah, it's the Series. Like, who are you, dude? Like, what role do you have in the company? Are you an engineer at the company? Is that what you do? What is his role there, and where is he coming up with this information? Because the official word is that there's a deal. That's what we know to be true. Microsoft as an entity is not going to just come out and say some random shit. Not to mention that people, like especially the ponies, it's funny, they try to source Baldur's Gate 3, right? They try to use that as, oh look, that had a problem with the Series S.
We know what happened.
That had zero problem. Well, it got handled, right? But it was actually not about the game itself being put on there. The only problem that Baldur's Gate 3 had was the multiplayer, the split screen multiplayer. That was the issue they had for the Series S, and Xbox made a one-time situation where they said, okay, you can release the game without putting the split screen on the Series S. I don't know if it's since been put in or what's happened with that.
You know what? Interestingly enough that you should say that, because I have a quote here. And I got this, and this is great. This comes from the Twitter account known as Xbox for Koreans. And this is what they go on to say, and it goes right into Baldur's Gate. So I'll give you back to Mike in a second, but let me just add this context to what you're talking about. It says, for games that have experienced memory issues on the Xbox Series X, Microsoft sends an engineering team to help, and he quotes Baldur's Gate 3. And here, it was reported by IGN that Microsoft's engineers are helping get Baldur's Gate 3 split screen working on Xbox Series S. And the quote here is, "I wish I could tell you we can do magic and miracles." And they got it to work. As a matter of fact, some additional context, if you remember, that thanks to these engineers that Microsoft sent over to the small developer at Baldur's Gate to get it done, they did such an amazing job that they somehow figured out from the Series S version to make the X, PS5, and PC version with memory run better using the Series S as the test case. How about that? So I think that if they really had these problems, Microsoft would have been more than willing to send over their engineers, and they didn't.
Dude, we were all hyped to see Black Myth Wukong come out when it was coming everywhere. We were all interested. I don't know if it was going to be like my game that I was going to stick with, but I was for damn sure interested graphically to see that game. And they shit the bed because they went ahead and they took a deal. This is just what happened, bro. If everybody was looking at this game, whether you were interested or not, it was a game that was being looked at. And Microsoft clearly, if they were having some type of real issue with this thing, would have done it. But why put a release date out there if you wouldn't be, if the game wasn't in a playable enough scenario for you to put it through? You know what I'm saying? Like, it, how did you not have a game running? So you're either admitting that you guys suck as a team and do not know how to code, especially considering that the game is Steam Deck verified, right? Which means is literally made to run on this lower powered spec, and what you can't get it to run on the Series S that every single day developers that are way smaller than Game Science are able to release their games with no problem. Like, come on, man. Every day a game's released on the Series S. The graphics on Black Myth Wukong are fine, but let's not act like they're not even Hellblade level. Like, they're good, but like let's relax, right? Like, you can scale the shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go ahead and drop the res, drop the frame rate, whatever you need to do. And we found out that it's not even doing 60. It's not even doing real 60 on PlayStation, right? It's being they have some weird shit that they're doubling the frame and doing something that's Digital Found. I forget the exact verbiage, but Digital Foundry went into it. So it's like, at what point do we stop having these people come out here saying this nonsense when we already have the truth from the company who is this game is supposed to be released on? We already know that Microsoft, as soon as they found out about Baldur's Gate 3, they reacted immediately.
Indeed, yeah.
It's been how long since Black Myth Wukong came out? And the only statement we got from Xbox was not, "Oh, we'll send somebody out to help them." It was, "Yeah, we could tell you guys right now, it has nothing to do with our platform. This is a deal. We can't comment on the deal." That's it. That's the official word we got from Xbox and Microsoft. Like, come on, man. Like, let's stop, and let's stop with the nonsense. It's just, it's sad. And, you know, like you said, I mean, first of all, on point, we've been saying it since the moment that they chose to not release it, that we weren't going to support the game. And that's just what it is. So, I'm not buying that game.
I agree. You know, and that's, look, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, folks. I'm saying what I'm doing, and I'm in the same camp as C Money. I am not buying the game. If it's in Game Pass, yeah, I'll play it, but I'm not giving Game Science a dime. Like, I'm going to vote with my wallet here, and I'm not. And again, this is not me throwing a tantrum. I have 1,000 games to play. It's not that serious. What I dislike is at every turn, especially just recently, they're coming out again and blaming the Series S when that has been the running narrative And it just so happens that, I don't know, two of the best looking games released this year, as per Digital Foundry, were 1 and 2 respectively. That's Indiana Jones and Hellblade 2, both of which are running
Or
superbly
Series S.
on the Series S, the little potato, right? The little
Yep.
one that could. So again, they made a deal with Sony. I saw a lot, and why I wanted to talk about it is because I saw a lot of the PlayStation community, and there's some big time names in there too,
Oh, it's
saying,
making the
"Oh,
rounds again.
it
It's
is
making
making
the
the
rounds
rounds again,"
again.
and
Yeah.
everyone, of course, is blaming the Series S as being the the little brother of the crutch, and that's not in fact the case at all. They made a deal, they took the bag, and now we're not getting it until whenever. And now, thanks to this delay, whenever it's going to come out, I'm not going to support it. I'm not giving them their money. And I think what's going to end up happening is it's probably not going to sell well on Xbox because you probably pissed off a lot of people. Again, I understand business, but at least be forthcoming with it. Say, yeah, PlayStation, we inked a deal with them. We're a small team. We need the money. So, they're getting the game first. They have a year exclusive, whatever. And maybe Sony's not letting them talk, but the consistent, changing of stories is why I kind of wanted to bring it up. And again, it was a really big story over the weekend. And obviously, here we are. We were off yesterday because of the new year. I wanted to get into it and see. I'm glad that you are with me in the same camp, that you have decided that you're not going to buy the game. I'm not. If they're not going to support me as a customer or a fan, well, then I'm not going to support them, and that's how it should be. Vote with your wallets, ladies and gentlemen.